While I was in foster care, I lived with 14 couples, 6 foster couples, and 8 couples at Goshen Valley Boys Ranch. And I lost my parents for them being in prison, mainly due to drugs.
I remember one day I woke up in Christmas and my mom and my parents basically didn't have money, like to buy us all gifts and whatnot. And at that time it was 4 of us plus my son. And I remember her saying, maybe next year, maybe next year.
Well, me and my family, we don't really get along that well. I can't tell my mom I love her because it's just hard for me because, because we fed off when I was younger. So, we was always getting to it, and then I cuss her out, she cussed me out.
I feel like our kids have a lot of needs, and there's not enough services, or there's not enough help for them. And people, can turn their back and say, oh, personal responsibility, but, you need help. Everybody needs someone.
They were going down the wrong path. I ain't really care about nothing. I used to always, get in trouble.
And I remember he said something to me when he first came. He said, I want to get control of my anger. And that was something that it just stayed with me for a long time. And like I said, he was a very angry kid.
Youth are in DFCS custody not because of their choice, but because of actions of others. And now all of a sudden, there's all these strangers making decisions around where they live, where they go to school, what their education looks like. And so we believe that kids deserve a choice in that.
What are we putting in place to support them, not catch them when they fall? I worry about those children and am not willing to accept. And I know MAAC feels exactly the same way, absolutely not willing to accept that there's not an answer for every child.
Because every youth is different, every situation is different, every family is different, every provider is different, every judge is different. So when we make blanket statements around how our child welfare system needs to be improved, we need to make sure that there's room for individual decisions to be made for kids.
The challenge is, though, when a youth does come into care, there's always speculation, does the child have learning disabilities? Is there some type of meds that he or she are on?
Young people are not problems to be fixed, they're assets to be developed. And we can think the same way for families. If you want to be somewhere that begins and ends its day with partnering with people that way, then you want to be here.
People sometimes say the child and the family are involved in the process, but it's a very superficial, they were at the table when you had the conversation, but that's not involved in the process. In MAAC, they are involved in the process and they have a say-so about their treatment.
We're not just going to make flippant decisions around placement or whatever. We're going to have a team meeting and we're going to listen to the youth. It's their life. We shouldn't be talking about it without them.
Really think about the youth in general and really say, well, what would my kid want? How can I treat all youth like my kids?
It breaks your heart sometimes to see, kids who don't have anyone and don't have someone to turn to. And I mean, when you turn 18, it's not the magic age where you're ready to be on your own. You still need to call your mom and say, how do I do this? How do I cook this? Or, your car breaks down, who do you call to come pick you up?
A lot of the things they do is like, okay, well, we need to fill out the application. So that's one thing my sister Angela Flores is helping me out with college and whatnot.
The best thing having a mentor is I can always pick up the phone call, he done everything, tell him problems. We've been working together since I was 14, so he know all my problems and everything, so he could help me. So
Whenever he called, that kid, I don't know what's on the other end of that call, I need to answer it. And that's something that as a care coordinator, sometimes you may put it off because it's a job. But as a parent, as a father, and as a mentor, I need to pick that call up. I don't know what's going on.
MAAC and apartment was like, we all family, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's just call it a family. And that's how I began trusting people. That's how I came out of my own comfort zone. So it was awesome.
MAAC, they be my family because, they every time they have an event, they call me and everything. So, and I always be there, I always show up.
I would tell them that in some circles you may be a patient, in some circles you may be a client, In some circles, you may be a student, you may be a brother or a sister. When we see you and when we think of you, you are an emerging leader and you are a civic leader.
We have a saying in our office that we're going to change the world one kid at a time.
If you want to see an agency that really put their heart in front of their work, MAAC would be the agency. And that's the whole backbone of MAAC.
MAAC is more than case coordination. It's an umbrella for children that don't have one. I think that when you love somebody and they know it's genuine, they typically respond to that and love you back.
Like, I love MAAC and everything. Like when I went to the Rising Star Challenge, I actually cried because like they really changed me and everything. So, I want to thank MAAC, and they gave me good hope.
What if I wasn't in my shoes that I am right now? What if all this wouldn't happen, all those doors open up to me? Like, where would I be? Like, I really do sit there and think about where could I be now if it wasn't for MAAC.
Our formal support may transition, but informally, we have the opportunity to walk alongside young people well into adulthood.
And MAAC, through their empowerment program, has a positive outlook on many aspects. When you don't give up on yourself, you don't have to worry about, am I going to be like my parents? Am I going to be in poverty? Will I be poor? You won't have to worry about any of that.
If it weren't for MAAC, I probably would, I don't know where I'd probably been. I'd probably been like, in jail or, somewhere, I don't know. So, like 15 years now, I'm gonna think back, with my family or with other people and everything, and tell them my story and everything.
I hope that we've impacted them in a way that they're going to live a better life because of it. I hope that they can take a piece of MAAC with them always.